Ren. Turn that up. Only a few of us gon' make it out. Zion, only you remedy, 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 only you remedy. When is my people gon' learn? If you don't come back, you gon' burn. We take it, the scriptures confirm. It's time for my people to return. Only you remedy, 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 only you remedy. When is my people gon' learn? If you don't come back, you gon' burn. We take it, the scriptures confirm. It's time for my people to return. Only you remedy. We at the end and we feeling it. We the sand of the sea, but a remnant shall return to the word when they hearing it. We the sons of Israel. Our word will never fail. Baptizing in Jacob's well. Holy Spirit ain't playing for real. Will you get protected? He's sending them plagues. I'm trying to make sure that he's seeing raid. All in my life, all in my head, all in my walk, all in my legs. You don't got that blood, you walking dead. Walk as he walk, we should live what it say. Only a remedy gonna be spared. Only a remedy gonna be spared. Abba gon' get us out of these countries. Abba said, let me see who really want me. Forsaking our houses, forsaking our money. We got that signal from heaven, he coming. Drinking his cup, nobody running. Flesh getting weak, but the spirit is gunning. We see the prophecy, we know he coming. We see the prophecy, we know he coming. But it's only you remedy, 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 only you remedy. When is my people gon' learn? If you don't come back, you gon' burn. We take it, the scriptures confirm. It's time for my people to return. Only you remedy, 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 only you remedy. When is my people gon' learn? If you don't come back, you gon' burn. We take it, the scriptures confirm. It's time for my people to return. That's how my heart is for you, and the sun he died for you. Yes, it's true, yes, it's true. You didn't have no clue. That's because nobody told you. They couldn't afford to, cause you monkey like you Goku. It ain't like nobody owed you. We broke the law and they sold you. We did this all to ourselves, Jacob. Now it's the time that you know the truth. You don't know you so special. You don't even see what's next, though. So we cry. Only remnants gonna make it out of here alive. Please repent my people, cause we at the end of time. Only you remedy, 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 only you remedy. When is my people gon' learn? If you don't come back, you gon' burn. We take it, the scriptures confirm. It's time for my people to return. Only you remedy, 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 only you remedy. When is my people gon' learn? If you don't come back, you gon' burn. We take it, the scriptures confirm. It's time for my people to return. It's time for my people to return. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Facebook Live, good morning, Breaking Strongholds Ministries, good morning, YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple, good morning, Shabbat Shalom, good morning, a grand rising, that's what some people say, grand rising, a what?
And a great day.
And a great day. Because they say good morning means you're morning great, huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
You go ahead and say it. No, you go ahead. It's okay. What you finna say?
It's okay for you to say stuff on Facebook.
Oh, go ahead.
It means that your mourning means that you have a sorrow. That right? What else it mean?
Morning. Just Google it.
Okay, you just Google it. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, good morning, everybody. I hope everyone has had a great day, a great week. I hope that the Most High truly have blessed you over and abundantly with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I hope the Most High has really blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope He has really given prosperity and wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I hope that He has really truly allowed the fish scales to fall off your eyes and see reality for what it is. I really truly hope that. My week has been a pretty productive week this week. I can't really complain too much. Sometimes I get into my emotions. Not really, even though I understand that it's a design for me to go through what I go through. And then after I go through what I go through, I have like a 2-day period, a 2-day relaxation period, but then I have to get back into whatever I'm supposed to be going through for that following week. And that is the hard part. The hard part for me to understand is that, and I don't want to understand because I miss it. I wouldn't follow the plan. But the hardest part for me is to be able to take the emotions out my week. But I have to keep the emotions into my week so that I can be able to receive what I'm supposed to receive during that week. So, but my week has been a good week. It's been a little going on, but it's alright. I can't complain. But let us turn to Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. And it reads, And El spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and thou shalt have no other Els before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that in the water under the earth. And thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, until the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore if Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that thy days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And let us pray. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power, and the glory forever and ever, so let it be. Good morning, good morning, good morning again. If you can, turn to the word of Yahuwah to Lamentations. Lamentations chapter 5 verses 17 through 22. Lamentations. Chapter 5, verses 17 and 22 through 22, and the key verse is verse 21. And the verse reads, it says, "Turn thou us unto thee, O Yahuwah." It says, "Turn thou us unto thee, O Yahuwah, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old." That's good. I understand that part. Okay, great. It says, Turn us unto thee, O Yahuwah, for we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old." And if I may give a title to the text this morning. The title of the text this morning is, what is your prayer life like? What is your prayer life like? And two words are very familiar words that I use all the time. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes I have used them in the past. The word hope is a 12th century word. The word hope is a 12th century word, but it's a mindset. The word hope it deals with the mind. Okay, it's a mindset word. So when you say I hope, it's only dealing with your thought process. It's not dealing with anything else. Okay, it's not dealing with any type of actions. It's not dealing with anything else but how you think. That's what the word hope means. It's a word comes from the intellect. Okay, and it means a desire of some good accompanied with at least a slight expectation of obtaining it, obtaining whatever you desire, or a belief that is attainable. Hope differs from wish or desire in this, that it implies some expectations of obtaining the good desire or possibilities of processing it. Hope, therefore, it always gives pleasure or joy. Listen to that. Hope always gives pleasure or joy. Confidence in a future event. The highest degree of well-founded expectations of good. That's what hope is. Hope is a mindset. That's what hope is. Hope is a mindset. Okay, the word patient. Patient is an action. It's a mid-14th century word. Patient is an action. It's a mid-14th century word. And patient means not the patient as if this patient that I'm talking to you about now is an adjective. It's not a noun. It's an adjective. Okay? So, it's an action word. It means capable of enduring misfortunes, sufferings, without complaints, bearing, supporting, suffering, enduring, permitting. Patience having the qualities of enduring evil without complaining or worrying. Sustaining afflictions of the body or mind with courage, calmness, or submission to the divine will. That's what patient means. Patient doesn't mean just to sit and wait. It means to endure it. Endure something until something else happens. Okay? So, now as we go to Lamentations, I'm going to read a little bit of something about Lamentations. Okay? Because it was very, I just read a little bit about Lamentations, and then I tell you a little bit about what happened this morning and so forth and so forth. It says, out of one of my African Bible commentaries, it says, in most of our Bibles, lamentation is, also we got to understand what the word lamentation means. A lament means a sorrow, a moment of grief, or reflections, okay? Okay, and it means in most of our Bibles, lamentation is located among the prophetic book right after Jeremiah. However, that's so funny because Jeremiah is considered to be the weeping prophet, and the reason why he was a weeping prophet is because of the fact that he saw how his people was and how they was going, their actions are, and what they was going through and what they was going to go through. So he had a sorrowful heart towards them because of their behavior. Okay, and it says, however, in the Hebrew Bible, this book was located in the third part of the canon, called the Writings. It was one of the 5 books that were read in the synagogue during the annual feast. Ruth was read in the Feast of Weeks. The Songs of Solomon was read at Passover. Ecclesiastics at the Feast of Tabernacle. Lamentations at the anniversary of the destruction of the temple in 587 BC. And Esther, she also was read. Okay, so let me read a little bit more about Lamentations. It's also considered to be a book of poems or prayers. Okay, in the Hebrew Bible, this book, like the books of the Pentateuch, derives its title from its first words, ikah, which means how or oh. It is a cry that combines astonishment and suffering. Lamentation is a book about crying and mourning about a condition that people are in or that you see someone else is in. That's why the book of Jeremiah is so important to understand. It was so important and why he was considered to be that reaping prophet, because he just didn't see with his mind, but he saw with his eyes. He just didn't understand. He just didn't understand with his mind. He saw with his eyes. So when you're able to understand the ramifications of people's actions through your intellect, you're able to see the judgment through your eyes. It's just like this morning, like this week, my wife had some clients, right? And she said her clients say, "We know now." They didn't just have an intellect understanding. They saw it with their eyes. So when they said "we know now," it had a great impact on them. It's just like my wife showed me something last night about cat, dog, cat. Cat, dog, cat. Use the first letter of each word and be able to understand what I'm saying. Cat, dog, cat. Said that they're going to do an investigation on side effects of strokes and why strokes are so high nowadays.
Use alphabet.
use the first alphabet of each letter. Cat, dog, cat. Is doing an investigation on why strokes are so high nowadays. And it has something to deal with what was required or enforced 2 years ago. So now the intellect or the information that is out today, people are starting to see the repercussions of it. So they're not just seeing, they're not just knowing, they seeing the repercussions of it. And that is very difficult for people to be able to accept, is the results of your intellect or your intelligence or your wisdom, because it makes them sorrowful because of what they actually know and see. It's a combination of two. When you know it and you don't see it, it's different. But when you see it and you know it, it has a greater impact, right? So when I was like yesterday, we having a family reunion, and we're doing a genealogy chart, right? And my family, part of my family was our Cherokee Indians, and they're from Greenville, Georgia. But a portion of my family is from England who came in, like I told you all, the Dumaside came in from England off the boats. Okay, but now I'm getting ready to go down to Greenville, Georgia to find the cemetery on where they built my people, where they laid my people to rest at in Greenville, Georgia. So me understanding that I understand that they used to separate the burial sites for Europeans, and they used to separate them from Europeans, and I just say blacks used to have separate burial sites. So when I go down to Greenville in a couple of weeks to investigate the burial sites for my ancestors, I may not see the same burial site that I saw, or that I may see for Europeans, that may be for my people. And that may bring me to tears, because the simple fact is how I know, and I also see how they treated my people, or my ancestors back in the days. So when you start to know, and you start to see ramifications of certain things, your prayer life has to be different. It has to be totally different. That's why the title of my text today is, what is your prayer life like? Because your prayer life is based on what you see, what you know, and what you have experienced. And also because when I was doing a little meditation this morning, right, before I pray, I always do a little meditation before I pray. And I will understand certain things about when I'm down in meditation, but I never quite understood it. But yesterday I was listening to some people about how they meditate and what transpires during the meditation process. So when I was doing my meditation this morning before I got into prayer, it's like my mind gave me a quick review of what happened yesterday. And then, I was having, so for some people they say downloads. I was having a review of what happened yesterday. And the Most High was showing me my experiences on what happened yesterday. And when he was showing me the experiences on what happened yesterday, he showed me also the personalities of the people that I encountered yesterday. And he showed me the difference between people who are focused and not focused, people who's what we call all over the place and people who's not all over the place. He showed me people who's not fearful, but he also showed me people who are fearful. He showed me a lot of different things in my moment of meditation on the spirits that is upon the earth and that's in people and the characteristics that they have. So when I got into prayer this morning, I understood what to pray for. And that's what the book of Lamentations is about. I'm going to go to chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. I'm going to just read a little bit out of Lamentations 1 through 5 because when you understand the conditions of whatever it is, you understand your conditions, when you understand the conditions of society, when you understand conditions of the world, and you truly know it and see it, you can have a totally different prayer life. But your prayer life has to be sincere. Let me give you the definition of the word sincere. Sincere means pure, unmixed, unhurt, uninjured. Being in reality, what it and this is coming out of the 1828 dictionary, okay? It says being in reality what it appears to be, not fringe, not simulated, not assumed or said to be the sake of appearance. Sincere means to be real, not hypocritical or to pretend. Sincere means to be straight up and open and honest. That's what it basically means. So when you have a sincere prayer life, you're really opening yourself up to be vulnerable to the Most High about what is your deepest and emotional feelings about whatever it is. That's how you're able to get healed and delivered, is when your prayer life is so sincere that you're vulnerable to the Most High about what you're afraid of, what you're scared of, what you're hoping for from a mindset. And when you're able to be that way, you're able to grow so tremendously in the relationship with the spirits of the Most High. But when you're not sincere in your prayers, you're not going to be able to grow. But let me go to Lamentations 1 through 5 and just give you the conditions of it, of the people. It says, Lamentations 1 and 1, but I'm going to read 1 through 5, okay? It says, and I want you to listen with a good heart and with your ears. Listen. It says, how doeth the city sit solitary, that was full of people? How is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations, and priests and princesses among the province. How is she become a tributary? Tributary. How could she become a tributary? She weeps sores in the night. Her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she has none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. This is the situation of the children of Israel. This is the situation of the tribe of Judah. It says, Judah is gone into captivity because of afflictions, and because of great certitude she dwells among the heathens. She finds no rest. All her prosecutors overtake her between the straits. The ways of Zion do mourn, because none come to her sole feast. All her gates are desolate, her priests sigh, her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. This is the conditions of the people. So when you understand, you see it from a logical perspective, but you also see it from a visual. That's when you're really able to dig deep into your prayer life and start to pray for those things. This is a very sincere and honest honest poem because it's speaking on reality. She said her adversaries are the chiefs. Her enemies prosper, for the Yahuwah has afflicted her for the multitudes of her transgressions. See, this was an acknowledgement on why she was in the conditions that she was in. And see, a lot of the time, and I'm going to talk about it at the end, her children are gone into captivity before the enemies. And from the daughters of Zion, all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that has no pastures. And they are gone without strength before the pursuers. That was the conditions of the children of Israel. That was the conditions of the children of Israel. That was the conditions. So, they saying that Jeremiah wrote the book of Lamentations, right? And the reason why, to me, it sounds like something Jeremiah will write because of his empathetic, his sympathy for the children of Israel because of their conditions that they was in. And see, as long as we continue to ignore the elephant in the room, our prayer life can't be sincere. As long as we continue to overlook things that's actually going on in the world today, we're going to continue to have a jacked up prayer life. And see, when my wife was telling me about one of her clients this week, right? My wife told me that she said, we know now. But she also said, I don't know why I even did it because I never take the flu shot. She said, I don't even know why I did what I did because I never take the flu shot because I understand what the flu shot did. She was acknowledging that she made a mistake because she understood that there were some ramifications behind the flu shot. So now, once we understand our transgressions, we have to have a total different prayer life. We have to have a total different, and like my wife just said in the bathroom, we was washing up, getting ourselves together to come on, so I can come on. She said, I understand why you crazy. She said, I understand why you act the way you act. Why you always doing what you do. Why you are the way you are. She may not like it, but now she understands. She see my intellect and my eyes are on the same accord, and I'm going crazy because of what I'm experiencing in life. But she can't really handle it because it's overwhelming to her. Because I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly looking, I'm constantly indulging in information. I do not give my mind a time to rest. Only I give my mind a time to rest is when I'm meditating. But doing that, other than that, I'm ordering books, I'm listening, I'm reading, I'm ordering books, I'm listening, I'm reading, I'm studying. So, I just want us to be able to understand that when we really let us go to Lamentation chapter 17 verse 5. Chapter 5 verse 17 through 22. Now, it says in verse 17, chapter 5 in Lamentations. It says, "For this our hearts is faint, and for these things our eyes are dim." Okay, I'm gonna deal with the first part of the verse and the second part of the verse in chapter 17, in verse 5, verse 17. It said, "For our hearts is faint." What it meant by "for our hearts is faint" is talking about what you know. It is dealing with your reality for what it is. And that is the hard part for people to deal with, is the reality. See, what the Most High showed me this morning, he said it's some spirits on the earth right now. He said it's some spirits on the earth because of fear, because of the decisions people have made. He said there's some spirits on the earth because of vengeance, because the decisions people have made. But then there's also some spirits on the earth for reward, because of the decisions that people have made. And see, it's some spirits on the earth right now because of what we have done. That's why they say you reap what you sow. And I was looking at this. I can go and let me stop. I'm just going to go ahead and deal with the passage. Okay. But it says, for this our heart is faint. Our mind is sick. What the word faint means, it's an emotional feeling. It means sorrow. It says, for our mind is sorrow because of what we actually see. When we really see reality for what it is, our minds will put us in a sorrow state. And then our mind would affect our body, because actually our thought process controls how we feel. Whether, like one morning, me and my wife were down in the kitchen, I was getting ready to go to work, and my wife was just sitting there. It was dull, and I turned on some music. I turned on some high vibrational music one morning, and she said, "What you doing?" I'm finna turn on some this type of music. And I said, "Nah, I wanted to get this music playing today because I wanted to get the emotional. I wanted to have us to start off with the high vibrational morning, excited morning." So I turned on some high vibrational music to get the intellect going, to get the emotions going in a positive way. So when we're looking at this, it says, for this our minds is sorrow. Basically, that's what it's saying. Our minds is sorrow because of what we see. And I just read you a little bit about what they saw in Lamentations 1. They saw sickness, they saw death, they saw pitifulness. They saw all these things that was going on in the time. So when you start to see something, your prayer life will be different. Your prayer life will be more sincere. But let us go to Lamentation 1 and 22. I'm not going to be long. It says, Lamentation 1 verse 22. And the reason says, let all their wickedness come before thee. See, in this part right here, he was praying that let the wickedness of the wicked, their sins come before them. In order for you to be able to pray a good righteous prayer, you got to be able to see things for what it is. He said, let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me. For all my transgressions from my side, all are many, and my heart is faint. He said, I made some mistakes. So because I made some mistakes, you brought that on me. Now they don't make plenty of mistakes. Now you bring the same judgment on me that you brought to them. Put them in the same conditions that I was in, you put them in. That's what he was asking for. Because he understood how I feel. And see, some of us can't see that we're in a desolate state. Even though we got We get higher interest loans. We're in a bad physical conditions. We still can't understand it because we're doing something wrong. We think we're doing right, even though we have high blood pressure. We think we're doing right when we got diabetes. We think we're doing right when we got heart, kidney failure, liver failure. We on diabetes. We think we think we're doing right when we have all these illnesses on our body. Not realizing that, no, I'm doing something wrong. And the reason why we say, no, we're doing something wrong, because we really haven't took an evaluation of our thoughts. Let us go to Leviticus chapter 26, verses 36. I'm going to go to verse 35 first. It says, we're dealing with the heart, which is the mind. It says, as long as it lieth desolate, it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Sabbath, when ye dwell upon it. And it says, and upon them that are left alive. This is when the children of Israel was getting ready to get taken into captivity. It says, and upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their minds. I will send a sorrowfulness into their minds in the land of their enemies. And the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them. Listen to that. And a shaken leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword. And they shall fall when none pursueth. The Most High said that they're going to be put in such a conditions of fear that when you just hear a little noise go across the window pane, you will get scared. Man, what's that outside? Man, what's that outside? What's that blowing? That wind just hitting our window like that? Ain't that right? So, he's saying that we're going to have such a fear at heart. And we are very fearful people. We are very fearful people. We're scared to step out the box, to do something different. We're afraid to, fear is so horrific, right? That, say hypothetically, when I tried to have my own business in 2007, when I got my own business in 2007, and I left the normalcy of life, of people, my friends, quote-unquote friends, or they're called my associates. They talked about me so bad because I left the normalcy. I left the box. And when you leave the box, you're not just shaking. You're not afraid of stuff. You may have a little bit of fear in you because of the unknown. But the people around you have such a greater fear of you being successful, or just you leaving the plantation. They get so much afraid of you leaving than staying, so they act more crazy. They'll talk about, I don't know why they leaving, I don't know why they doing it, I don't know why they doing it, oh no. What my actions have anything to do with you? What my actions had to do with them people is that I showed them that I wasn't afraid, and I showed them that they was afraid. Fear keeps you in that box, not to move. And anytime somebody do something different that's not in that box, the people around them will chastise them for doing something out of the box. And see, we're so controlled now that, really being honest with you, the government don't even have to do anything else. They done what they're supposed to do. We will keep our own selves in the box. The government ain't got to do it no more. We will talk so negatively about somebody else who's trying to do something different. Make sure that they stay in line with what was being made, what was being taught. Because we do things on the Sabbath now, people do not like us because we have stepped out of the box. Not because we're maintaining the box, but because we stepped out the box. But if we maintain the box, people will love us and glorify us and because we stepped out. Oh man, they're afraid. So the Most High said that we was going to be afraid. So now when you see fear on the land, we got to pray that that fear be taken away. We got to pray that fear be gone. Because the fear is not of the Most High. Let us go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Fear keeps us in that box, no matter what nobody says. Deuteronomy 28, 65 through 67. Our prayer life got to be different. Listen to this. It says, among these nations shall thou find no ease, neither shall the soles of thy foot have rest. But Yahuwah shall give thee a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. Thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life. The reason why everybody carrying weapons nowadays is because they're afraid for their life. Because they don't know if they're going to make it home or not. And it says, in the morning thou shalt say, would God it were eve. And at evening thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and the sight of thy eyes which thou see. See, a lot of the times, fear causes us to wish our life away. Man, I'd be glad that more I come on and take me, man. I don't care. I'm ready to go. Because, shoot, man, what's going on earth today, man? Shoot, man, I don't want to be around here for that stuff, man. You see all these people hungry, man. You see all these, and I have to correct, and I have to check myself on that because I have said some of these same words. Man, shoot, man. You gonna see all these people do this, and you gonna see all these people do that. Man, shoot, man, shoot, man. I don't want to be around here, man. Mohawk can't take me, man. I don't care. Shoot, I got insurance. That's fear when that person's speaking like that. That's fear. Fear causes people to hurry up and wish their life away. Fear causes people to respond in so many different ways. But we got to pray that fear away. We got to pray that we don't fear whatever's to come. We accept it. We embrace it. He prepared us for this. This is what we should be saying. Psalms 23. This is our prayer should be. This is what our prayer should be. The Lord, Yahuwah is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Listen to this. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely in goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of Yahuwah forever. See, this prayer here don't have anything to do with fear. This prayer has something to do with what I know. That's what this prayer is all about. It's who I know and what I know. See, when we have fear, we can't say these things. When we have fear, we can't say nothing like this. But when we have fear, we don't say nothing but, man, come on, take me out of here. I remember, I forgot one of the prophets. One of the prophets' name, he was afraid to die. He asked for 15 more years. Asked for more time. I forgot his name. Let me see something. I had to come back to it. But he asked for more time to live. And see, when you're ready to go, you're ready to go because you're afraid. Not because you're really ready. You're ready to go because you're afraid, because you don't want to deal with whatever it is. So let us go back to Lamentations chapter 5, verses 17. Let's deal with the second part. It says, for this our minds is sorrow, and for these things our eyes are dim. This is dealing with the sight. This part is dealing with the sight. It's what you see about the situation. The first part is what you know about the situation. The second part is what you see about the situation. The eyes is an outward appearance, a look, a presence. And what you see causes a reaction from your eyes. Okay? It's like when somebody sees something amazing, they get excited. When somebody sees sorrow, they get teary-eyed because it was traumatic. It's a traumatic experience. So you see some tears run down somebody's eyes because of whatever it is. So let us go to Lamentations chapter 2 so I can give you a better understanding of that. The word tears. It says, my eyes do fail with tears, My bowels are troubled. My liver is poured upon the earth. For the destructions of my daughter, of my people, because the children are suckling soon in the streets of the city. It says, my eyes do fill with tears, so crying. In this sense, the people are crying. Lamentation chapter 2, verse 11. Lamentation chapter 2, verse 11, it says, my eyes do fail with tears. So when you look at the word dim, it means that your eyes are crying because of what you actually see. Okay? So let us go to Ezekiel chapter 5 so we can get a better understanding of it. The eyes. Chapter 5, Ezekiel chapter 5, verses 12 through 14. It reads, a third part of thee shall die with pestilence, and with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of thee. A third part shall fall by the sword round about thee, and I will scatter a third part into all the winds. And I will draw out a sword after them. Thus shall my anger be accomplished, and I will cause the fury to rest upon them. And I will be comforted, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah, have spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them. Moreover, I will make thee waste and a reproach among the nations that round about thee, in the sight of all that pass by. So it shall be a reproach and a taunt, and instructions and an astonishment unto the nations that round about thee, when I shall execute judgment in thee in anger and in fury and in furious rebuke. I, the Yahuwah, have spoken it. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, which I will send to destroy you. I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So will I send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, Yahuwah, have spoken it. When your eyes start to see stuff like that, you get teary-eyed and cry because of the situation or the conditions of the people. You start to when your eyes see that type of stuff, you cry. Like, man, I can't handle this. You see all this stuff? Let's go to Psalms 31. Verses 9. Psalms 31 and 9. It says, have mercy upon me, O Yahuwah, for I am in trouble. My eyes is consumed with grief. Yea, my soul and my belly. For my life is spent with grief. My years are with sighing. My strength faileth because of my iniquities, and my bones are consumed. I was reproached among all my enemies, but especially among my neighbors. A fear to my inadequacies, that they that did see me without they that did see me without fled from me. I am forgotten as a dead man out of mind. I am like a broken vessel. So it's like when you see a homeless person on the street, some people feel sorry for them because of what they see. Some don't though, but some do. Anybody with any kind of emotional feeling, they have some type of sorrow for them, even if they just say, man, I wish that guy do something better with himself. Amos 9:4. And it says, though they go into captivity before their enemies, thence will I command the sword, and it shall slay them, and I will set my eyes upon them for evil and not for good. Do y'all remember when y'all saw George Floyd laying on the ground and that police officer had his knee on that man's neck for the period of time that he had his knee on that man's neck? How did you feel when you saw that? What did you pray for after that? How did you feel? How did you feel? Because what you saw caused you to have some type of emotions. What did you pray for after that? What did you pray for after you saw Tamir Rice get shot? What did you pray for after you saw Sandra Bland get hung in a jail prison? What did you pray for when you see all these people get shot and killed in the street? What you praying for when you see all these people get kidnapped and their body parts being taken away? What are you praying for? Listen to what David said in Psalms 109. It says, for the mouth of the wicked. I'm starting at verse 2. Now I'm going to start at verse 1 in Psalm 109. It says, hold not thy peace, O El, of my praise. For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They compass me about also with words of hatred, and fought against me without a cause. For my love they are my adversaries, but I give myself unto prayer. Listen to that. And they have rewarded me for evil for good, and hatred for love. Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned. Let his prayers become sin. Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Let his children be fatherless, and his mother a widow. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg, and let them see their braves also out of their desolate places. Let the extortioners catch all that he has, and let the strangers spoil his labor. Let there be none to extend mercy unto him, neither let there be any to favor his fatherless children. That's one of David's prayers. David's prayers. David prayed because he experienced some horrific stuff from his enemies. Jeremiah prayed the way he prayed because of the simple fact is the way he saw his people was going through. What your prayer life is like? What are you meditating on? Let us go back to Lamentation chapter 5, verses 18. We got about 15 more minutes. And it says, because of the mountains of Zion, which is desolate, and the foxes walk upon it, thou, O Yahuwah, remain forever, thy throne from generation to generation. Wherefore doest thou forget us forever, and forsake us so long time? Turn thou us unto thee, O Yahuwah, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. But thou hast utterly rejected us. Thou art very wroth against us. See, that song that my wife played, it has some things in it. It says, if you don't come back, you will burn. It's telling you, if you don't go back to the Most High, you're going to burn. But in order for you to come back, you got to realize your reality. Not just from an intellect state, but also from a vision state. Both of those got to agree. But also that song said, time for my people to return. How are we going to return? We got to see it from an intellect state and a vision state. Then it says it's time for you to know the truth. How you going to know the truth? From an intellect state and from how you see things. You can't keep covering life up as if what you're seeing is really not what you're seeing. You got to be real honest with yourself right now. You got to be real honest with yourself right now. And if you don't make some mistakes, man, you got to get in your prayer closet and you got to cry out to him because you know you'll make some bad decisions. I'm going to get back to that in just a second. It says, turn thou us unto thee, O Yahuwah, we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. He said the only way that you got to really get turned back to Yahuwah, you got to want to be turned back. You got to want it. You got to want to be what you want to be. You got to be what you want to be. It got to come from a mindset. Let us go to 1 Kings. 1 Kings chapter 18. Verse 37. It says, hear me, O Yahuwah, hear me, that this people may know that thou art Yahuwah El, and that thou hast turned their hearts back again. Then the fire of Yahuwah fell and consumed the burnt offering, the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stone, and the dust, licked up the water that was in the trench. See, you gotta want to turn back. Because you know the actions of the Most High. You not just know it, you see it. And see, I was talking to this guy I don't know if I told y'all this before, but I'm going to tell you again if I haven't. Sometimes y'all say y'all don't see Yahuwah. And I was talking to this guy. I talked to this guy when I was at the doctor, when I was at the hospital with my daughter 3 weeks ago. I was talking to this guy and I said, sometimes people think they don't see Yahuwah. I said, but you see him, but you don't think you see him, but you see him. I said, you see him when someone is doing good, and I said, you see him when somebody's doing bad. You see him when you on the homeless, because he said you will always have the poor among you. You see him. He said the rain shall rain on the just and the unjust. So you see him all the time. And when you say you don't see him, you're lying to yourself. But this is what your prayer got to be like. Hear me, O Yahuwah, hear me, that this people may know that thou art Yahuwah El, and that thou hast turned their hearts back again. When you start to see, because what made them turn their hearts back is because of verse 37. They saw things with their eyes and they had to believe in their mind. It says the bottom part of verse 38 says, and it says, then the fire of Yahuwah fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice and the wood and the stone and the dust and licked up the water that was in the trench. Listen to this. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their face. And they said, Yahuwah, he is El. Yahuwah, he is El. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 8. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 8. It says, behold, I will bring them from the north country and gather them from the east coast of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame and the women with child and her that travail with child together. A great company shall return hither. See, what's happening is that the Most High is going to make everybody come back to Him. That's what the wilderness is about. Returning back to Him. And naturally you see things are returning back to Him. Everybody's starting to go back to the natural way of living. It's hard for some people because they still want to be like Lot's wife. But a lot of people are starting to turn back to Yahuwah, living the way He wants us to live. And the last one, let's go to Habakkuk. Habakkuk. Let's go to 3 and 2. Excuse me. It says, O Yahuwah, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. Yahuwah, O Yahuwah, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. He said, when you're angry, still remember mercy. It says, El came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, Shelah. His glory covers the heavens, and the earth was full of His praise. and his brightness was as the light. He has horns coming out of his hands, and there was the hiding of his power. But let us go to Lamentation chapter 3, and I'm done. Lamentation chapter 3, verse 59. Through 66. See, I'm going to say this to you. Those who have did things that you know you shouldn't have done, by the cat, dog, cat, and some of the requests from your employer to do things you know you shouldn't have done, go get detoxed immediately. Because you're seeing things happen around you that you never would ever imagine. Go get detoxed immediately. But you also need to pray. Go get detoxed immediately. Go get detoxed immediately. Let me read something to you. This is what your prayer should be. And the key verse in your prayer should be in verse 64. Those who had to do things that they didn't really want to do, and you did things because of fear, because of what you saw, and you really didn't want to do it because you didn't get the right information. This is what your prayer should be. O Yahuwah, thou hast seen my wrong. Lamentation chapter 3, verse 59. This is what your prayer should be. But I'm telling you, go get detox immediately. But this is what your prayer should be. Listen to the words. The first part of this verse. O Yahuwah, thou hast seen my wrong. See, when they said, we know now, they know they done wrong. He said, O Yahuwah, thou hast seen my wrong. Judge thou my cause. For thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Yahuwah, and all their imaginations against me. The lips of those that rose up against me, and their devices against me all the day. Behold, they're sitting down and they're rising up. I am their music. Listen to this. Render unto them a recompense, O Yahuwah, according to the works of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart. Thy curse unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of Yahuwah. That's what your prayer should be. Because sometimes people have intentionally did things to you that they know that was going to cause harm to you. That's what your prayer should be. Because that's your reality. That is your reality. The cat now is talking about strokes. That's your prayer. It says 64, render unto them a recompense, O Yahuwah, according to the works of their hands. But you also got to say in 59, O Yahuwah, thou hast seen my wrongs. You got to acknowledge what you did in your prayers. You got to know and see that you have done some things that you shouldn't have done. Now you got to ask for repentance. But you also got to ask for recompense on those people here who made you do things that you shouldn't have never done. Okay? So let us pray so we can go. I hope it don't get taken down, but I ain't really say a whole lot that might have caused it to be taken down, but I hope it didn't get taken down, but I'm putting it on YouTube if it's not on Facebook. But let us pray. Abba, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you. Abba, we give you all the glory and honor. Abba, we thank you for everything that you have done. We thank you for what you're doing, and we thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for letting us have a sound mind and a healthy body. Abba, we ask that you give us the intellect to be able to see reality for what it really truly is. Abba, we have done some wrong. We have made some mistakes. We have been misled by our teachers and our prophets. We have been misguided by the gatekeepers of the earth. Abba, we ask that you forgive us for our sins. We ask that you forgive us for our transgressions, not just against humanity, but against ourselves. Because you told us that our bodies are the temples and you dwell in our temple. So we have damaged ourselves, as well as damaging the relationship that we can have with you. So Abba, we ask that you forgive us for that. But also, Abba, we ask that you bring recompense on those who have caused us to go astray. We ask that you bring recompense on those who have caused these things to come into existence. Abba, we know that 1/3 is going to be taken out, but Abba, we ask that let your grace and your mercy be here in the midst of your wrath. Abba, we know we've done some things we shouldn't have done. We're afraid right now. Not just because of what we know, it's because of what we see as well. And because of what some of us are experiencing. Some of our bodies are not the way they used to be. Some of our thinking is not the way it should be. We're dysfunctional right now because of some adverse conditions that we're in. So we ask that you just continue to help us and guide us and lead us. But let your grace and your mercy be sufficient in the midst of this wrath. Like your prophet asked for a couple of more years, Abba, we asking that you give us a couple of more years. We understand that judgment is going to be here by March. We understand that it could be total chaos by March, but we ask that you protect us and lead us and guide us in the midst of all these conditions, all this time. We ask that you protect and lead us as we travel the highways and byways. We ask that you forgive us, our ancestors, and our offsprings of the sins they have committed, knowingly and unknowingly. But we ask that you continue to let us see the way you want us to see, hear the way you want us to hear, and speak the way you want us to speak. And all these things we pray in your higher name, so let it be. Hey, go get detox. Those who have taken things that you really didn't want to take, but you took it because of fear, go get detox immediately. Y'all have a blessed one. Happy Shabbat Shalom. Turn it up.
Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. That rock is Mashiach. Verse 25. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and the winds blew, and the winds blew. Oil in your lamp in this tribulation. Glory to the Father, we know what we facing. Babylon falling while he raised the nation. We was blind, we could see, got us out that matrix. Under covenant, come back to the covenant. We done tried everything, this your real covering. Checking every spirit, every doctrine. He the prince of air, and we near, so you know the devil's smuggling. Days of Noah, days of light, ain't no way we looking back. 2 Kings 13, the lies that told him take a shot. I bet you want it, for the kingdom, show me my opponent. We gon' walk in this authority he put up on us. We see our hand in the earth, looking at the weather getting worse. We done seen cattle down, we done seen boils. Ain't nothing to fear when you know he doing it for you. He feel the same way he felt in Genesis. Days of Noah, all the sin that make the Father reminisce. The judge bringing judgment to the earth, I hope you hearing this. Evil in the hearts of men, violence in the earth, he sending floods for your remembrance. Blow your wings, destruction gotta come for our deliverance. If you know the secret place, enter in. He left with them thorns, he gon' come back with a crown. The lightning in this thicket, y'all, it's almost time now. He separated wheat from the tails, sheep from the goats. The harvest almost here, we can see it close. A Messiah in the air, he coming with a host. Holding our lamps, no you cannot get a dose. Digital, don't let them put no chip in you. Everything is spiritual and physical. Walking like the Mashiach, they trying to get rid of you. If you walk in disobedience, you got a chip in you. If it belong to Caesar, then it's coming with a price. We ain't gonna lose our souls for the kids of this life. Get ready for that pilgrimage, be ready for that hike. Ready for that wilderness, gotta lose your life. We know that this storm coming, we know that a test coming. Walking in the spirit, cause the end of all flesh coming. Freddy River drying up, till left to a city out. We know that there's war coming, we know that a mess coming. We don't want that fire get sentenced, y'all we gotta stay repentant. If you fall, get back up, victory Messiah did it. He goes in it mighty, ain't trusting in the Father plane. Same ones who brought you here gon' bring you back to your lane. Whoa, whoa, them Gentiles gotta roll too. Toss them in Isaiah 66 and verse 20. Aki we they offering. He gon' blow his wings, we gon' never take a loss again. Officer, go service in your freedom wings.